Hi, I'm Annie Sleece, and I'm on the staff at NAMI Delaware. This is a part of a discussion series focused on back-to-school community resources. We're talking with state agencies who work to support youth and families in Delaware. But before we start, I'd like to tell you a little bit about NAMI Delaware. NAMI stands for National Alliance on Mental Illness. We're the Delaware chapter of the national organization, which is the largest grassroots mental health organization in the country. NAMI Delaware offers support, education, and advocacy to those affected by mental illness. You can learn more about our agency by visiting our website. Now, we're not a crisis response agency, but there are resources available to you 24/7 should you need them. So you can either call Delaware's Hope Line with the number along the screen. You can text DE to the National Crisis Text Line, 741-741, or you can visit our website and view more resources that are available under the Education tab. Click Resources. Today, we're talking to Cassandra McKay. She is the Executive Director of Connecting Generations. Welcome.
Hi, welcome, Annie. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining. Now, this is such a busy time during back to school. We're so grateful for your time. So let's talk a little bit about the work you're doing at Connecting Generations. But first, can we start with you? What's a little bit about yourself and your background and what brought you to this work?
Sure. So I have had the opportunity to work across a number of different fields, a number of different industries, from public relations to social services, behavioral health, broadcast, and then ultimately education. While working in education, I just found that I developed a passion for really wanting to work with children to get the social and emotional their needs met. And so I started to look for organizations and avenues that would allow me to really work in a way that I would have impact on children, our future leaders, right? And so I was grateful to find the opportunity to work with Connecting Generations, because it's a group of like-minded individuals that share the same passion, a group of great people that were just really looking to impact the children, give them the tools that they need to be successful. So it kind of brought everything together. It was a great culmination of all of the different skill sets that I had acquired and all the different fields that I've had the opportunity
to. You have quite a background. That's terrific. So for those who are viewing and might not be as familiar with Connecting Generations, can you share with us a little bit about your mission and maybe some programming?
Absolutely. So Connecting Generations is a social emotional learning organization, and we exist to provide the tools that children need to become emotionally strong, resilient, and socially competent individuals that can successfully navigate school and life. And so we do that by providing mentoring, which is a one-to-one student-led, student kind of navigated paced mentoring that takes place in our schools. It's 30 minutes to an hour per week that the mentors will meet with the children, develop strong, caring relationships to support them as they pursue their academics and decide, what they want to do with themselves in their lives, help them to discover their potential, right? Our social emotional learning programs is more of an umbrella. It's a few different workshops and programs that we offer underneath that umbrella. One of which is our Seasons of Respect, which is 4th and 5th grade character building workshops. And we do that for 7 to 8 weeks. We partner with schools and we have facilitators that will go. And it's all based on the 5 tenets of social emotional learning. So you have social awareness, self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, and positive, healthy decision-making. So we work with the students to learn those skills throughout those workshops. We also have a Respect Through the Arts program, which is an after-school program based on the same 5 tenets, but it's allowing the students to use art as a modality of expression as they gain these critical tools and critical skills. We also have the Character Climb program, which pairs 1st and 2nd grade students with 4th and 5th grade students, again, for those same concepts. But in this, it's mutually beneficial in that the 1st and 2nd graders learn from the 4th and 5th graders, and the 4th and 5th graders learn how to be leaders, and they learn to take responsibility for someone else, because elementary school kids, that's not kind of on the radar, right?
Right.
So this program gives them that sense of responsibility, which is also great. This year, we were really excited because we also introduced another workshop series called The Power of Water. And that workshop series really deals with the impacts of 2020. So we're lucky that we have in-house curriculum writers that can say, where are the kids now? And how do we meet their current needs? And obviously 2020, it hit us all by surprise,
Like no
right?
other, right?
So we were able to come together and say, what are some of the tools that we need to focus on right now? And so
Mhm.
obviously navigating trauma and difficult times and adapting to change were
Sure.
big pieces of what we wanted to put forward, and even some mindfulness practices and being able to institute self-care, which was really big, I think, for children and adults this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, you sort of already led me to my next question, which was around the pandemic and its impact. It's impacted us all. And as you said, it was the whole year, right? And you created a new program. Is there anything else you'd like to add as far as the level at which COVID affected your work at Connecting Generations?
Well, the pandemic happened like middle school year, right? We were in
Mhm.
March. And so
Right.
quickly we were forced to kind of pivot, which I know a lot of organizations and companies had to do because
Sure.
our services are provided in partnership with schools. So as schools
Mhm.
began to shut down, of course, we had to figure out how do we still meet the virtual needs or the social emotional needs of our students virtually. And
Right.
so we were able to speak with our school partners who are amazing, very creative. And so we were able to do some Zoom sessions, some telephone conference calls. We did a writing campaign where students were able to email and write back and forth with their mentors.
Oh,
We
that's
even had Zoom nights, which is
oh,
exciting because it's a lot of people kind of in the Zoom sessions, and we're able to split them off one-on-one with their mentors. And so we're always just trying to think of new creative ways to still do this work. And I think the beauty of the pandemic in this way is that now we have another element
mhm.
to our service provision. So we had never entertained virtual mentoring or virtual facilitation for our workshops.
That's right.
But hey,
Now
trial
you
by
know how.
fire.
That's right.
It happened. It worked well. We are continuing to evaluate and do
Mhm.
different things and tweak as necessary. But now we can reach those mentors that maybe can't make it to the school one day a week because of a
Mhm.
disability or lack of transportation or those
Sure.
things. Or we can meet the needs of students that may be on medical leave or have
Mhm.
some reason why they can't physically be in the school. Now we can still work with those individuals. So that was definitely a huge plus and something learned and gained from the pandemic for us.
Sure. And it's nice to hone in on those silver linings, right? I mean, instead of
Absolutely.
thinking all the things that we lost, we can really remember all the things that we've gained in this very unusual time. Um,
Absolutely.
when it comes to back to school time, I would suspect it's probably your most busy time. I don't know. Would that be a good guess?
That is a good guess.
Yeah.
Although summer is the time when you're kind of like reevaluating
Okay.
everything.
Yeah. Sure.
So we did do a lot of that during the summer and just trying to make sure we have our ducks in a row and ready for the fall. But certainly this time of the year, we're really thinking about who are our partners and, solidifying those relationships.
Right.
We're doing training for our mentors, processing mentor applications, evaluating our curriculums and tweaking those. So it is definitely a lot going on. We're in the middle of an expansion project
Oh.
that will allow us to partner with some other organizations. And so I'm hiring, the
Oh,
whole
wow.
gamut. So, and
You hear
I'm
that? Send your resume if you're watching this video.
exactly. We are out there on Indeed. So we are definitely,
Good. Okay.
as with a lot of organizations, we are facing that difficulty in hiring.
Right.
Staffing is becoming a problem with a lot of
Sure.
organizations and companies. We are, again, so super grateful for the staff that we have. We're very small. One of my colleagues says small but mighty.
Right.
So we do a lot with what we have, but we are looking to grow. So
Oh, that's exciting. Well, congratulations on that for sure.
thank you.
So, just the idea of connecting generations, even the name is just so inspiring. It's a feel good kind of idea that connecting generations. But for those who are watching right now and maybe they've only heard of you or they've just know what you've shared so far, can we dive a little deeper, like in talking about the way, for example, a mentor gets matched to a particular school or a student, and how do schools, identify the students who would benefit and that kind of thing? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So our mentors come from all walks of life. We have high school students that mentor, we have college students, we have seniors that mentor retirees, teachers, professionals. all gamuts, which is super, super exciting. And so when we do our recruitment events, we give the potential mentor information. They go on our website, they complete an application. After the application process is done, we do have a screening process where we do background checks and we do child protection, all of the kind of rigorous screenings.
Sure.
For working with
for
children.
safety, right?
Absolutely. We then have a comprehensive mentor training. We were doing it in person, obviously, prior to COVID. We have been able to pivot now and do that online.
Okay.
And so one of our trainers will go on and do the comprehensive training. After that is completed, the mentor will do a survey where they just kind of show us that they learned something, right? And if they've passed the screening and they've done the training, we then present them with a certificate of completion. Throughout this process, they also complete a survey. In that survey, they give us a little bit more about them. So, what their interests are, their likes, and those sorts of things. That helps us when we get ready to match them with a mentee. We ask that the mentors choose a school that is either close to their home or close to their work so that once a week commitment does not become a burden for them, because we obviously consistency is so key in making sure that these children, once they form the relationship, they're not let down by the relationship, because that can cause more damage, right? So we're extremely we enforce that please make sure you're consistent, make sure you find a school that that you can get to once a week.
Sure.
So after all of that is done, the mentor coordinator at the schools will take the survey from the children, the survey from the mentors, and they start to cross-reference and try to find, some things that they have in common. The quality of the match is super important. And so once that happens and they're called and say, hey, we got a match for you, the mentoring begins.
That's exciting. Now, you mentioned at the school, there's someone responsible for that coordination. Are they the ones who identify the students, or do teachers make recommendations? Can parents make recommendations for a child to be a mentee?
I was just about to say that.
Oh,
so sorry.
Great. I was reading your mind.
Yes. So we actually take referrals from a number of different places. So the parent can definitely refer the teachers, school counselors, principals. So anyone that has interactions with that child and they say, hey, I really think they can benefit, they would just let the mentor coordinator know, and she or he would start the process.
That's exciting. And does it have to start in a certain part of the year, or can it happen mid-year if something happens in a child's life that really kind of shines light on that need?
Yeah, it can certainly happen in the middle of the year. Of course, it's great if they can start at the beginning, but if not, no, absolutely, because needs change, right? And grow based on situations and life circumstances. So we want to definitely accommodate the students as they have that need.
That's great. It's wonderful that you can be so flexible. So I would suspect that you keep pretty good data. It sounds like you do a lot of, cross-checking and surveys and that kind of thing. Can you tell us maybe what you found as far as the benefits for young people over time for this program, and then maybe the benefits for the mentors too?
Sure. So it is definitely mutually beneficial. And our founder really believed that the connecting of generations is what benefits all of us. That's the core of what we do. And so the mentor experiences that sense of fulfillment, being able to give back, to cause impact, to serve, to be able to share their stories, their experiences, their skills, that gives them a sense of joy and a sense of pride to be able to do that. And believe it or not, some mentors even experience self-esteem boosts.
Really?
Absolutely.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. As they're exploring their life and sharing their life with the mentees, oftentimes they're able to reflect and say, hey, yeah, I did that. And
it's validating, I suppose.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And so they come to appreciate that boost of self-esteem, those interpersonal skills that are being developed, the ability to really listen, to empathize, to communicate. Those things grow in the mentor as well as in the mentee. The mentee appreciates that relationship. A lot of children, unfortunately, don't have that caring, supportive relationship with an adult. So this fills that gap, that space for them. They have a confidant, they have a cheerleader, they have a support system, someone that they can turn to. And they ultimately start to view life differently. They view their potential. some children don't see past a certain space and place, right? But
Mhm.
when they work with someone else that can open their minds and show them that they can accomplish so much more and be so much more, it causes them to think outside of the box. It motivates them and re-engages them with their schoolwork and their life. They start to set goals and they build better relationships and make better decisions. So it is super beneficial. I could go on and on probably on this
Sure.
topic, but
Well, and I believe you. Everything you're saying makes perfect sense. And if there ever were a time in our existence that powerful social and emotional connection were needed, it would be now, right?
right.
The
Absolutely.
third school year of COVID, I mean, that's
Mhm.
where we are right now. So speaking of schools, what about educators? Do they give any feedback? Do you hear anything back from schools as far as the benefits of this program?
Yeah, usually the schools are the first to kind of see the change because they're
Okay.
interacting with them daily, and so they start to see again that they're re-engaged, they're more motivated.
Mhm.
Um, we always hope for an uptick in academic achievement. They're attending school more often. Their behavioral issues are starting to decline, and again, typically it's because that outlet is now there, and
Yeah.
they're learning how to make better decisions. You know, they're able to talk through, I made this choice. It didn't turn out so well. These are the reasons why. And they can talk through that and maybe see things a little differently. So schools tend to see those changes. They may see different relationships growing with the child and those sorts of things.
That's great. That's great to hear that. Now, if people are viewing this video right now and they're either thinking like, I want to be a mentor, or I want that for my child, or I want that at our school, or whatever, what would be the best way to connect with you?
So our website for sure would be the first place I would recommend they visit. And there they can find an application to apply to be a mentor. They can also call us at the 302-656-2122. If a school wants to be involved, they can reach out to me. My email is cmckay@connecting-generations.org, which you can also find on our website.
Great. Well, I have a feeling you're going to be hearing from people. This sounds such a terrific opportunity and beneficial for so many people in different times in their life. So I want to thank you again for taking the time to talk with us during this busy time. But I do want to ask you one more question before we
Sure.
sign off. And this question is something I'm asking of everyone in our discussion series. Basically, I just want you to offer a message or share a message to those viewing in light of what we're going through right now with back to school time for the third school year impacted by COVID.
So I would remind everyone to remember that we choose the lens through which we see ourselves, our lives, and all the things that's happening around us. And so I would challenge them to choose to see things positively. I would hope that they'd be encouraged by all the things we've learned throughout the pandemic, the ways that we've grown throughout the pandemic, our ability to appreciate and have gratitude for the small things, and to appreciate the value that we add to each other through our work and our skills and the resources that we share with each other. I would hope that the kind and philanthropic spirit that was birthed through the pandemic in so many people continues to grow and just continues, and that we would see the beauty in the resilience that we have, that although challenges come, we rise. And if we continue to do that together, then there's absolutely nothing that can stop us.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. That was very inspiring. I hope all of you viewers will reach out to Cassandra and Connecting Generations. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.